It's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
You know, the idea when you try to find a new head coach is you want to see a spark of life, a little invigoration in the team. You want to see, oh my goodness, we're getting him? All right, well, things might change. Things might be different. The New York Knicks hire Mike Brown, formerly with the Sacramento Kings. Has been around the NBA for a long time, including with the Golden State Warriors, with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the early LeBron days. Experienced. The new head coach of the New York Knicks, Mike Brown. They replaced Thibodeau with Mike Brown. That is announced today per Shams Charania of ESPN. It is Colin Russo here, Mike Rizzo alongside me with Christian Catt. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. 888-760-3776. Did the Knicks make a good hire with Mike Brown? Just a little bit of a cop-out. Mike, your initial reaction to Mike Brown being in the fold now, head coach?
Just the Knicks not having a direction after they fired Thibodeau, who took them to places that they haven't been in 30 years. I think this is an organization that fell under public pressure of THIBS can't get it done. THIBS is known as a guy who can get to a conference final. He could get you to relevancy. He could get you to win a playoff series, but he's not going to be somebody who's going to win a championship. And I think they fell victim to that. We asked at the time, do the Knicks actually have a plan here? Do the Knicks actually have a plan of attack on what candidates they want? Is it going to be a big name? We speculated names like Jay Wright, speculated other big-time names out there, and turns out they're going to get Mike Brown. Now, listen, I watched a lot of Mike Brown basketball, being a Cavalier fan. He's not a terrible coach. He did great stuff in Sacramento. He's not a needle mover. And this is a move where I don't know how much better he is than THIBS. I damn near am ready to say he might be better, or THIBS might be better than Mike Brown. Now,
I disagree with that, but I understand the idea.
But Kyle, Mike Brown went to a finals. Granted, he had a 20-year-old LeBron James who could jump out of the gym. But, I mean, if you want to play that game, Mike Brown went deeper. But I just think that these are two very similar coaches that never have really been able to get the job done when they've had some pretty solid teams.
Mike Brown's had less opportunity.
He has.
He had Cleveland, and then he got cut out short. He shouldn't have been fired from Sacramento, and he was, right? So you could say that he hasn't had a plethora of opportunity to do it. And when he was with Cleveland, I mean, you know those teams better than anybody.
Yeah.
Those were not, by the roster, great teams.
No, they had no business beating the Pistons back in 06,
They had no
07.
business winning a lot of those series. And yes, LeBron helps, but that was not the best version of LeBron. If anything, that was probably the worst version of LeBron, because he was the most unrefined. Mm-hmm. So him alongside LeBron, those two, Iglaskis, that's really it.
Big Z, baby.
That's it. That was Mo Willett. Those are those teams.
Yep.
So from one perspective, it was, the problem is it was 20 years ago. It was 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. He at least has been to places that Thibodeau hasn't seen.
Well,
I was in favor of getting rid of Thibodeau. Do I hate this hire? I don't think I do. Do I think it? I agree with the needle mover comment. Is it a needle mover? I don't know if there was one available. Mm-hmm. Do you feel any differently if they bring Jason Kidd in?
Not necessarily.
No, you probably don't.
Not necessarily.
You probably don't.
I just think this goes back to still having a bad taste in my mouth from THIBS getting fired. And if you rewind this show 6 months ago, 5 months ago, both of us were lighting Thibodeau up. But the fact is, he took them to an Eastern Conference Finals. They beat Boston, the big baddie that they haven't been able to beat for years, right? And it feels like that he deserved another year. It felt like Thibodeau deserved another year when they originally fired him. That's why I got on the Knicks. And as I just mentioned, the Knicks fell to the public pressure of everyone telling them that Thibodeau can't get it done. So, listen, Mike Brown he's a good head coach. I think I agree with you. He got a bad rap there in Sacramento. I can't even remember the reason that they fired him. Maybe it was because they decided they wanted to blow that thing up, rebuild, whatever the situation. I think the Knicks are going to be right there in a weak Eastern Conference. I damn near think the Knicks and the Cavaliers are probably the top two teams in the Eastern Conference next year. And Mike Brown is a seasoned vet. And the last thing I'll add, he sat on the bench for all those great Warrior teams that were able to bounce the Cavaliers and company when they got Kevin Durant. So
yeah,
he knows how to win.
Let's think situationally here. I mean, you just said it. That Eastern Conference is as takeable as it's ever going to be in the history of that conference next year. Where the Knicks going to think Leon Rose and company, who's the president of the operations, would Leon Rose think, well, let's get a new guy in, and he has to go through growing pains when we get to our postseason?
Right.
Or do we get a guy who at least we know for sure is not going to panic in any sort of regard and is going to be able to lead a team in a postseason spot? Have we seen him win a playoff series in 15 years? No. But was he good in the interim when Steve Kerr went down? Yes. So he has had success, at least in a couple spots. And he brought that Sacramento team back from the dead because that was when they fired Luke Walton, and it was awful. And there was a grim future there. He pops in, and they win 50 games and take that, and they'd lost to Golden State in 7 in that great series.
Yep. And I think it's important for Mike Brown to establish a brand of basketball because I think that was what did Tibbs in as well. Another underlying thing why Tibbs got fired was because he didn't play a lot of guys. And granted, they didn't get hurt. Let's give him some credit. The guys did not get hurt, but I felt like all the things we were complaining about Thibodeau is, yeah, he can't win the big one, he can't go deep, but also that he's just playing 6 guys. So I think Mike Brown fundamentally probably agrees with a bunch of stuff, to your credit, of what Leon Rose and Dolan are trying to build in New York. So I think I'm going to let it play out. Yesterday, I was a little gung-ho on, oh, my God, if they hire Mike Brown. Let's let it play out. Let's see what happens, because as we keep mentioning, and everybody keeps mentioning that covers this league, is that the East is weak. So I'm going to let the Mike Brown situation play out, and who knows, maybe they are in the finals come 11 months from now.
I mean, let's think about, these are 2 coaches that, weirdly enough, you don't usually get this, have had, honestly, fairly similar product sizes in terms of what we've seen from them in the NBA. Thibodeau has coached about 900 some odd games in the regular season. Mike Brown has coached about 750. Mike Brown is sitting at around a 60% win percentage. Tom Thibodeau is sitting at 58. In the postseason, Tom Thibodeau has coached 100 games. Mike Brown has coached about 90. So there are similarities here. Mike Brown 50-40 in the postseason with a 55% win percentage, and Tom Thibodeau, on the other hand, 48-55, won 46% of his playoff games. So these are teams that coaches that, in terms of sample size, it's pretty comparable.
Yep.
And I think it's a matter of, how is he going to sit with the players? How is he going to utilize his bench? I think that's a big component of this. And is he going to be able to handle that job, which is chewed up and spit out about 100 coaches before him? Can he handle that? That will be a big question mark, because Thibodeau could, because Thibodeau doesn't care about anybody. Thibodeau is on his own little world. But I honestly think that this, situationally, contextually, is not the worst hire they could have made.
And a lot of people think that maybe some candidates didn't want to go and coach in New York because of what you just mentioned about how it's high pressure, high stakes. Everyone knows that they're trying to win a championship for the first time since the great Walt Frazier. You got to go in there and bear the burden of that. And also, as you know well, Colin, bear the burden of the New York media. Okay? It's different out there.
It's not as bad as it used to be. The big bad New York media kind of gets thrown around. They got enough bad teams to worry about, but I understand what you're saying. The way I look at it is, they needed a guy who's experienced, yet they couldn't pluck anybody from an already playing team. He probably got a bad beat from a Sacramento team. He's had the offseason, a little bit part of the season to kind of regroup, and we've seen him before. All right, he's checking a lot of the boxes. The only thing is he hasn't won a title. All right, well, who has won a title who's available? Rick Carlisle's not walking through the door. Who are we going to go get?
Yeah.
There's Spoelstra and Kerr. Popovich just retired.
How about Doc Rivers?
You want to get?
It's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, you want to get Nick Nurse? I mean,
it's musical chairs. It really is. It's like, I feel like, and you mentioned they're similar in record and whatnot. They're similar in getting prematurely fired too. Brown getting fired in Sacramento. Listen. A couple of the Cavs teams Brown got fired of, he got prematurely fired as well.
Well, he got removed right after LeBron left.
He did, but he came back.
Yeah.
Came back a second time. And I feel like they fired him a little too early after that as well and didn't really give it a chance. But, Tibbs gets fired after taking the Knicks somewhere they haven't been in 30 years. Mike Brown gets fired after arguably the best season since Mike Bibby, Bobby Jackson, Chris Webber, and those great Vlade Divac Kings teams. So it's eerie. It's eerie. In our show meeting, Kyle, what'd you call it? A lateral move? You call it
a bit of a lateral move. They're similar.
Yeah, that's why
I would take Brown over Thibodeau tomorrow.
Really? Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Over what? What has Thibodeau showed you?
I just I think Tibbs has proved he could get you to the spot. And maybe one of these years he's bound to win, right?
You could have said that exact same thing about Mike Brown. You could have said that exact same thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Now, the one thing is Mike Brown hasn't been in the big postseason spot outside of that Sacramento Golden State
series. Which was a fun series.
Great series. And that was the year that Golden State was going haymakers on everybody. Mm-hmm. So you could make the argument that Mike Brown is sort of that next head coaching in waiting that's just looking for the right opportunity, the right spot. Does it always work? No. But of all available opportunities, you're not going to pluck somebody already in the NBA. Nobody's letting their coach walk out the door to go interview for the Knicks. So if that's the case, he is probably one of your better candidates, unless you wanted to go for an assistant coach or a former player. And Jay Wright wasn't getting off the couch. What are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Right? I don't hate this at all, and I think they might be better off because of it.
I could be dead wrong here. I'm assuming Knick fan doesn't like it. I'm assuming Knick fan. I think the Knick fan has been very unclear on. I think the lack of the direction annoys them more than the actual move, and that's what this is, though, right?
They're not defending their wives and children, over Tom Thibodeau. They're not doing that.
Do you agree with me that they fired Tibbs because of public pressure, though? Like the pressure.
I think it was personal. I think it was probably something interior. I don't think the public pressure was enough because they were riding on the high of a conference final.
I stand by this to this day. And I was a huge Tibbs hater heading into the postseason because I didn't think they were going to get past Cleveland and or Boston. But I think he deserved a year. I thought last year. I thought with
that's
what
objective.
He did. Yeah, I thought, and no one will be able to talk me off that because they brought him somewhere. I know I keep saying the 30-year card, Kyle, but it's true. It's true, and I really thought he deserved the extra year after that.
Yeah, I totally commit. That's the point. That's an objective fact. He probably should have gotten another year, but contextually, would the Knick fan feel better with a Mike Brown or Tom Thibodeau going into the year? I think it's a pretty marginal difference. Mm-hmm. But I think the problems that the Knicks had with Thibodeau, I don't know if you're going to have the same worries with Brown. Brown has been around a lot of teams, been around a lot of good teams in the NBA. He's somebody who's at least been there. So you're not getting a new guy in there. I think new guy would have a lot of issues. But experience, I don't think this is a bad move. I really don't. I'm warming up more and more to it as I talk about it. But comparatively to what they could have done, this is as decent of a situation as they could come out to be. And contextually, with the Eastern Conference the way it is, go get it. That's all they're saying. Go get it. This is it. All right, you got new coach. All right, adapt quickly. Do it quickly because we got 1 year, 2, where we could capitalize on a lot of injuries.
So how can Leon Rose help him out? Obviously, you signed Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, they've made moves.
They signed Clark. But realistically, there's still only about 7 players deep. And the reason I bring that up is because what people said about Tibbs, how they don't play this, they don't play that. But Jordan Clarkson and Mitchell Robinson off the bench with the starting 5. Say what you want about Clarkson. He's instant action and points off of the bench. Great 6-man. His average about 16 points for the decade that he's been in the NBA. So I don't know if there's necessarily any more moves Leon Rose has to make to help Mike Brown out and Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. But in your mind, is this team good enough with Mike Brown and all the players that I just mentioned to possibly, and listen, they got to get through the East first, but is this team good enough to possibly win a championship and whoever comes out of the West?
We'll answer that.
That's a big question.
We'll answer that on the flip side. 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program. Mike Brown, new head coach of the New York Knicks. Good hire, bad hire. Knicks better or worse off now that Mike Brown is in the fold instead of Tom Thibodeau. Let us know. 888-760-3776. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat taking a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
team. At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Mansour's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Mansour's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Friday, it's the 4th of July. After you demolish enough hot dogs to call it a sport, we've got you covered with Major League Baseball. First, it's the Yankees and Mets starting at 2:30, then the Rangers and Padres at 6. Baseball, hot dogs, and ESPN 106.3.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.com/X at ESPN West Palm. Also on your radio dial at ESPN 106.3. You've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, fell off your bike. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They're the type to fight for you. I know the Anajar and Levine, they got my back, they could get yours too, and they don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. New York Knicks bring in Mike Brown as the new head coach following Tom Thibodeau's firing. And that is going to be the next stage of what the New York Knicks are trying to accomplish. He has won 60% of his regular season games. He's won a little over 50% of his playoff games. He's won an Eastern Conference title. He's a two-time Coach of the Year winner and was good with Sacramento. The Knicks have done a lot worse than this, but now the question lies. They got their coach figured out. Most of the roster is figured out. They brought in Jordan Clarkson. They brought in Yabusele, the Frenchman from who was on the Sixers last year, who played the U.S. team in the Olympic final. So they brought in a couple pieces. They have some, I guess, bench opportunities for certain young players. But now the line is, all right, where is this team lying? Where are they going to finish off? At this point, 10 months away from when we're actually going to know, where do the New York Knicks, to you, stand amongst the ranks of the NBA and the Eastern Conference? Mike?
I I probably put them number 1 in the East just because Cleveland and what they haven't been able to do.
You're putting them ahead of the Cavaliers.
I am because the Cavs have not proved that they can make it to a conference final. The Knicks have. The Knicks I understand Tatum got hurt, but I think both of us agreed at the time that even if Tatum didn't get hurt against the Celtics, they were still going to win that series. The Knicks have done something the Cavs haven't. That's why I have the Knicks over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think when this thing's all said and done, they could be competing for an NBA Finals. I don't think they're good enough to answer my own question I asked you going into the break. I don't think they're good enough to beat one of those teams out of the West. I mean, Colin, there's a big discrepancy. Reminds me a little bit of the MLB. Like, in my opinion, all the great teams right now in the MLB reside in the NL. I think that's how it is in the NBA with the Western Conference. You look at the Houston Rockets, who got Kevin Durant. You look at the Dallas Mavericks, who got Cooper Flagg and a bunch of veteran players, AD, Klay Thompson, Kyrie, and company.
Wait and see with them, but yes.
I think it's plug and play because I'm a big fan of Coop, but you're onto something. And I'm disregarding the team, arguably, that won 68 games last year and is probably the favorite to win again and go back-to-back in the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I think as far as the Eastern Conference, they're number 1. But comparatively to the West, Colin, I don't give them much of a chance against some of these teams they might be seeing on the other side.
Well, isn't that the goal? Didn't that why they brought in Mike Brown, so they could be probably the odds-on team to get out of the East, or at least them and Cleveland?
I agree, but Knick fan, I think, would argue with you because it's been so long since they've tasted a championship. It's been so long since they hoisted up that Larry O'Brien trophy. I mean, the great Walt Frazier. A lot of this office here at ESPN West Palm Beach wasn't alive the last time the New York Knicks, I'd
make the argument nearly everybody.
No one was alive.
1973.
The mecca of maybe one teammate, but I'm not going to say names. But the New York Knicks, called the mecca of basketball. This is the mecca of basketball we're talking about.
So what are the Knicks fans arguing? What, that they're desperate for a championship?
Yeah, they want the moves to be made so that they could beat one of the Western Conference teams that come in out of the other side.
There wasn't a coach on the market, and Thibodeau included, that would have brought them to that, right?
Probably
Aren't you
not.
on that? Yeah.
Probably not. But I think that's the way Knicks fans are feeling today, is this move going to help us win a championship for the first time since 73 and the great Walt Frazier? My answer to that still is no. And to circle back around what you asked me, are the Knicks title contenders and where do they fall in the NBA? They're absolutely title contenders and probably a top 5, top 6 team when you boil things down in the NBA. I mean, who would you put over them? I would put Oklahoma City. I would put Houston. I would put Dallas, and then you could probably slot in anywhere the Knicks and Cleveland, and then that could pan out your 4th, 5th. It depends on how high you rate some of these things. Like, do you rate Golden State? Do you rate Minnesota? I don't necessarily rate Minnesota that high, but I know some people would probably rate Minnesota better than New York with Anthony Edwards and company. So
the New York Knicks, according to Hard Rock Better, plus 300 to win the Eastern Conference. That is the second best odds in the conference. The Cavs are plus 260. And as for NBA champion, the Knicks are sitting at plus 900. The OKC Thunder by far plus 230. Then you get the Nuggets, Cavaliers, Rockets, then the Knicks.
Sorry,
I think that's
they
fair.
are 5. They are 5.
That's 5.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I think you'd put the Nuggets because of the offseason that they've had. I think you'd put the Cavaliers there just because of the body of work that they put together over the season. You know, they got hurt at the wrong time. They played a team that was hot as anybody in Indiana, who's probably not going to be in the mixing next year. And you get the Rockets, who probably made the best make my team better faster move in the NBA in getting Durant. So from that perspective, yeah, the Knicks plus 900, right on. And I think that's all the Knicks fan can ask for is, can you give us a shot to make it to a finals? Can you give us a shot? Mike Brown can give you a shot.
And the roster, too. Let's give the players some credit as well. Brunson has turned into a top point guard in the league. I'll say this about Tibbs. I know I've kind of been defending his honor on the show today. I didn't really like how he used Cat. I didn't like some of the things I saw from Karl Anthony Towns on a game-by-game basis. I thought
that's Karl Anthony Towns his whole career, but yes.
I thought he needed more touches. I thought he needed more shots. But I think that's probably fair with what you read from Hard Rock. Now, it's probably Cleveland's conference to lose, but they're soft. And I think they proved that they're soft the last 3 years they've made the playoffs. And Knicks, Mike Brown, I know it's not Thibodeau of the, grizzled team that's going to be playing 6 guys and getting in your face and whatnot. But I think Mike Brown's going to have a good identity with the Knicks, and I probably still would put them higher than the Cavaliers.
It's the
Where do you fall? Where do you fall? What's going on
I
with
think
these?
the Knicks are better. I think the Knicks are better than what they were a month and a half ago. I think that they're going to be a big beneficiary of the fact that they've had the same starting lineup that's going to play again next year with maybe a little bit more of a bench presence. I don't think the Knicks, I'm not ready to say they're a title contender, but they're going to be right there. They're going to be right there.
Is this a 2-team race in the Eastern Conference next year?
Can't say that yet. Because
and we said it last year.
If we said that in April, we would have excluded Indiana from that bunch. The fact is that it's takeable. And if it's takeable, that means it's anybody's bone to have. So the fact that there might be Detroit can make a run if they wanted to.
Yep.
So there are 4 or 5 different teams that are going to have that go get it mentality once you hit the postseason because it's doable. Because there's not a great team standing in your way. And the Knicks are not a great team, and the Cavaliers are not a great team. So because of that, I would say that all they could ask for is a fighting chance and a coach that they're comfortable in a big spot with. I think Mike Brown checks those boxes. I really do.
You trust him in a big spot?
888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Does he have the most flawless resume of all time? No, Phil Jackson's not walking through the door. I don't think I would burn the Knicks down. I mean, geez. Popovich is not coming out of retirement to coach the Knicks. Got to make do with the best you have available to you. That, to me, is probably Mike Brown. Who are you going to go get? Jason Kidd?
Yeah.
Guy who's a nothing? That was the answer?
And he coaches another team.
Yeah, and he's under contract somewhere else. Chris Finch? No. Chris Finch has done nothing as well.
Go get someone from the Oklahoma City bench.
You want to go get a new guy?
Yeah,
you want to get a new guy?
That's right. Who got the new guy? There are a couple of new guys. Who was Kenny's? And when I say Kenny Atkinson, head coach of Cleveland. Who was Kenny's assistant that everyone wanted? He ultimately went to the Suns. Where did he go? The Suns, maybe?
Yes.
He went to the Suns,
there was
right?
2 of them, yes.
It's like, to your credit, go get one of those guys then. If you don't want to go get a guy like Mike Brown, a proven commodity who can prove they can win 60 games. He won 60 games with the Cleveland team before. He won 52 games with Sacramento before. He's proven.
888-760-3776, Mike Brown to the Knicks. We go to Sean in Loxahatchee joining us now in Russo Rizzo. Sean, welcome in. What do you got?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to say, last year, the Knicks got extremely lucky. You take a team like Cleveland, they lost Garland, they lost Mobley. You take a team like the Pistons, who would have beat them in the first round had they had their second-best player, Jaden Ivey, and Isaiah Stewart, kind of their enforcer. Both those guys were out. You take a look at if those guys are healthy, the Pistons get a little bit better next year, just based on growth. Completely healthy, just picked up Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, and then you got, if Cleveland stays healthy, the Knicks at best are going to be the third best team in the East.
Are you by chance a Pistons fan, Sean?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm a Pistons. They're my team, but I mean, don't I plead a good case?
No, you do. And Sean, so
Jaden Ivey, their second best player, was hurt. Did you watch the games? How close they were?
Yeah, absolutely. What I watched is Cade Cunningham not being able to close a game, not missing Jaden Ivey. But you're right. With growth, they will become more comfortable in that spot. Would you agree?
100%. Duran gets better. Cunningham gets better. Asur Thompson gets better. They just added Duncan Robinson. They're going to be great.
So, Sean,
I'm telling you right now, second best team in the East.
You think the Knicks was kind of a perfect timing kind of thing, and they needed to take advantage of it?
100%. When you take a look at 2 starting players for Cleveland were out. Jason Tatum got hurt. Like I said, Jaden Ivey and Isaiah Stewart were hurt. I mean, it was the perfect storm for them, and they couldn't finish.
Appreciate the call, Sean. Sean in Loxahatchee, a Pistons fan who didn't say he was a Pistons fan.
But we knew it.
When he started talking about Isaiah Stewart being hurt,
hey, hang on.
We got a Pistons fan on the line.
I'll say this. Us Midwesterners are sticking together after that girl for the, the Indiana Fever talked crap about
Sophie
Detroit
Cunningham.
and Cleveland. I'll have to, listen, I have Detroit's. I have Detroit's back all month. After, Sophia Cunningham acted like Indiana was West Palm Beach.
The one thing to break down Sean's argument a little bit, I agree. The Pistons are going to be steps better because of just the youth attached to the team and having Ivy back. They made some decent moves in the offseason. Malik Beasley's probably going to go to prison for gambling, but everybody else, they got Robinson in there to replace him.
Forgot about
They
that.
lost Hardaway, so they're replacing shooting,
Right.
which they did a good job at. Cade Cunningham, you got to hope will take another step. But the reason they lost to the Knicks was not because they were hurt. It was because every game was close. They lost all their games in Detroit, and they couldn't close a game to save their lives. And that's because Cade Cunningham is young, but he was turning the ball over, couldn't hit shots. They just couldn't close a game. That's an experience thing. They'll get there.
And I think they have an angry J.B. Bickerstaff because a lot of people are putting the stigmatism of he can't get it done. Similar to Thibodeau, Kyle. Bickerstaff has the stigmatism of he could get you to the playoffs, but he's not going to win the big one.
So he's a little upset. 888-760-3776. So the Knicks are going to be one of the better teams in the East next year with Mike Brown at the helm. Ernie in Boynton Beach joins the program now. Ernie, welcome in. What's up?
Ernie.
I am the resident Knicks fan here in the West Palm Beach area, and I would say gladly that we are better. One, because we're not going to be exercising the starting five to exhaustion. So let's start there. If Mike Brown, and also I don't know if Mike Brown has a good defensive mind. I'm gonna be honest, because Mike Brown, if I've seen he defensively, I think he has gaps, and if he doesn't have somebody on the bench that can defensively coach this team, we're going to be in the same predicament we were, because we do not play defense. I'll say it first. They don't play defense. They need to play D, and they have to start using the bench. And if Mike Brown does this, we have a chance. Other than that, just like the other caller said, everybody else is going to get better.
So, Ernie, you're under the impression that because we're not going to have the starting five play 100 minutes a game, that just off of that and maybe that alone, the Knicks are just going to be better off.
It is. Just because they're not playing 100 minutes. Yeah, I say so, because I feel like these guys ran out of gas towards the end. And if they could do something about this guy, even though I'm old school. I don't like center shooting threes. I'm that kind of old school guy, but that's what we play now. That's the mantra. We got to shoot threes from every direction. I don't like it. I don't know why. I don't know. Put Cat, post him in the just grab rebounds, but that's me. That's just me. Old school.
Now, Ernie, you asked if Brown is a defensive coach, and I wanted to look this up. He is a defensive-minded coach, absolutely. And his teams of the Cavaliers from 2005 to 2010, they consistently ranked among the league's best in defensive efficiency. And at Golden State, he helped fine-tune their defensive, adjustments, because let's be honest, they hid Curry a lot of those times on a lot of those teams that went deep into the playoffs. A lot of that was early, but a lot of it was Mike Brown. A lot of that was Mike Brown who fine-tuned. He's been known to fine-tune that Golden State defense. So I think defensively they should be all right. I think it's just, are they going to be able to beat teams like Cleveland and maybe a team that comes out of the West if they're lucky enough to get to the finals?
Good call, Ernie. Appreciate you chiming in on Russo and Rizzo. 888-760-3776. Another thing to take into consideration there is what has worked in the NBA this year, years prior. Bench depth, waves of pressure, multiple guys contributing. Any guy can beat you on any given night. That is the new recipe for success in the NBA. The Knicks have guys who can beat you on separate nights. I think the Knicks just put all their cards into the Brunson basket. If they could split it up, divide and conquer a little bit, and more importantly, keep these guys healthy, rare, and ready to go, and take steps forward as an offense, that team could be in the mix. There's no doubt in my mind. Ernie in Boynton Beach is happy. Sean in Loxahatchee is not happy because he wants people to remember that the Detroit Pistons are right there as well, which he's right. He's right. But that's going to be a see it before you believe it.
Right, they got to do something. It's that team that got to the big dance, lost, licked their wounds, and now hopefully come back better the next year.
888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Want to talk about the most dangerous teams? We'll continue the conversation next in the NBA on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Wing Wednesday. Brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 1063. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Summer is heating up, and so are the St. Lucie Mets. Clover Park is the top summer destination for sports fans looking to get the most bang for their buck in July. Be there for all the excitement on the field and in the stands. The biggest and best fireworks show on the Treasure Coast is coming to Clover Park on Thursday, July 3rd. Tickets are on sale now at stluciemets.com. See you at the ballpark this summer.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Well, with the holiday coming up, even if you're in here and the weather might stink here in South Florida, but if you're going to be going outside, taking off your shirt, you got to make sure you're a little tuned up. You got to make sure you get the summer beach bod. Go get that today at F45 downtown West Palm Beach, locations in Wellington as well. F45 is great because if you're somebody that just wants to kind of turn your brain off, work out, get a sweat going, feel good walking out of there, that's what they have to offer. 45-minute class style, 2 coaches on site, a bunch of loud music and like-minded fitness individuals on site with you, making sure you're having a grand old time. F45, they got class in the morning, class in the afternoon, accommodated to all fitness levels. It's the best. Get your first 3 classes today for just $30. Find a studio near you, F45 online, or check out their Instagram, F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Well, let's compartmentalize a little bit of this because now we could do this early because there's the bulk of free agency that at least has happened and a number of coaches have been set. So I think it's okay for us to determine the most dangerous teams in the NBA to this point. Would you agree?
I would. I definitely would.
These are subject to change. We're 10 months away from when this matters. But now that it's fresh on our minds, I'm willing to sort of put into a ranking in an order here on where the dangerous teams lie. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Cleveland's your number 1.
I think we should put the Knicks just because they've
See,
been
I'm on
to
the
a
opposite
conference
side
final.
of that. I would do the Cavaliers.
I mean, why?
Cavs lost to the same team that the Knicks lost to.
Something always happens. Something always happens with Cleveland and that team the last 3 years.
You can make the same argument with the Knicks.
Agreed.
But the Cavs lost to the same team that the Knicks did.
And this is going to ruffle some feathers, maybe with some people. They're soft, man. That's why they're not. They don't have that killer instinct. And listen to me sounding like Kobe and the Mamba mentality. But I don't think the Cavs have that killer instinct. Maybe some other teams do. But okay, let's do it. For the sake of us both making this, we'll put the Cavs as number 1.
The bottom line is it's going to be Cavs and Knicks, however way you put it.
Correct.
The top 2 in the East.
Correct.
Number 3, are you willing to go Detroit, Indiana, Milwaukee, those 3?
I think we got to respect Detroit. Would you agree?
I would say
I'm
Detroit,
not ready to put Milwaukee there. They don't have enough. Detroit's deeper. Granted, listen, I agree what you said about Cunningham. It's astutely put by you, but I think I would probably put Detroit 3.
Detroit and Milwaukee are sort of that tier 2 for me, and I'm willing to put Milwaukee there. I am.
Do you want to? God, the Buck fans might be angry with me. I might put the Magic over the Bucks.
I'm not willing to do that.
I like Banchero. I like Bane. I like the Wagners.
Good team. I'm not willing to do that.
Okay, that's fine.
I understand both sides, but the Orlando Magic, the Milwaukee Bucks have at least been there every year.
Are we at 5?
Yeah, because you're putting Milwaukee ahead of Orlando, or Orlando ahead of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Listen, we're making it together, so let's put the Bucks.
And I think Indiana. I would put Indiana right around there as well.
Really? You're so high on that team. You're so high on that team.
Great coach, deep team. I mean, they're going to have to replace Turner. Turner's a good player. Halliburton's the big loss.
It is.
Siakam's still there.
But they're deep at the guard position. You can put Nembhard or Naismith.
It's a gap year, but that team's a mid-40s.
Now, did they add anybody? What? Because remember, they never went into the luxury tax. Wasn't that the big thing? Is for 40 whatever years they never dipped into the luxury tax. Did they go out and sign anybody? I mean, they have Halliburton and Turner out. Kyle, if they run that thing back with the same team without those 2 players, I think they're a playing team. Maybe I'm dead wrong there. It's a weak Eastern Conference. But I think the Celtics without their players are stronger than the Pacers.
Well, the Celtics without that's a completely different team.
But
that's
Brown,
Xavier Tillman.
Hear me out. I think Jaylen Brown or Derek White is better than anything Indiana has, and I think they still have Pritchard.
Siakam's not better than Derek White. Siakam's not better than Derek White.
What I'm saying is Brown and White are better than anything Indiana has.
As individual players?
Correct.
No, Pascal Siakam
You think Siakam's better than White?
Substantially better player.
I think a lot of the players that really excelled in Indiana, and as we learned throughout the playoff run, I didn't watch a lot of Indiana basketball. They were just the ultimate team, right? They were the ultimate just
So wouldn't that lean more to the fact that this team's not necessarily going to fall off the face of the earth?
I think individually Derek White might be better. But, I mean, Kyle, Pritchard as well was the 6th man of the year. He's back on that squad, too, with Boston. I wouldn't sleep on the Celtics completely. I would probably put them higher than the Pacers.
I'd put them as maybe a 6 or 7 seed, but I mean, you just talked about how the Pacers are the ultimate team, but they're without their point guard, they're no longer a team.
Damn near their 2 best players out.
Siakam is their second. Are you forgetting about Pascal Siakam? He is a very good. He's guys almost won a championship with 2 different teams.
I don't buy, and maybe it's my bias coming in here. I don't buy that team. I don't think you'll ever see that team again. I really don't, Kyle. I do not think we're going to see that team again. I think the Knicks, the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Pistons, I think they're all better than the Pacers.
Well, one thing that the Pacers have is a championship-winning coach and depth.
Something the others don't.
They all don't. No, they all
Joe
don't.
Mazzulla,
fine. But the way I look, but all those teams that are supposed to be ahead of them have a bunch of journeyman coaches that are trying to figure it out at the not the first stop. Mike Brown, Bickerstaff, Atkinson, all these coaches for Cleveland, New York, Detroit, are all these guys who are trying to figure out the second stop. Carlisle's been to Mavericks, but he won a title there.
Right.
So this is somebody that is an experienced, probably top 5 coach in the entire league, and they have an entire offseason to figure out how they're going to react to no Halliburton rather than it happening the second week of the season.
Okay. Where are we at? So we have the Cavs.
It's just whether you think Indiana and Boston are going to be, like, you got to take one team into a play-in spot. Because if you think Orlando's going to be that much better,
I do.
And Indiana and Boston, you're going to have to put a team of those Indiana and Boston in the play-in. So you're willing to put the Indiana team in there.
I am.
I wouldn't count them out too much. I understand what you're saying.
Like, can they? And let's think about the 82-game season too. Are they going to be able to hold up for 50 wins again?
They don't need 50 wins. They need 40-something.
But what I'm saying is, like, to maybe position themselves in the Eastern Conference, they're going to need a decent enough record. I don't think 37 games is the play-in next year. Maybe I'm dead wrong there.
37 wins? No, that will make the play-in.
You think so?
Well, the Heat got him with 37 wins.
But I think it's going to be. I know everyone's saying it's a weak Eastern Conference, but I think the play-in tournament is going to be more than 37 games this year.
Here's the thing: the Indiana Pacers were by far the best team in that conference last year when it came down to it. By far. They didn't play in a 7-game series throughout the postseason. So other than the finals,
is there someone under the radar in the Eastern Conference, Colin?
Is
there a team that was dead
Atlanta?
Terrible.
I think it would be Atlanta.
Okay, they were terrible, but like the Wizards, or like the Hornets,
No.
None of them.
You think, unless you think Philadelphia might figure it all out.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's the answer there with Maxey and a healthy Embiid.
That's it. And Jared McCain. So they have players, but
they're the ultimate sleeper next year, right? Everyone is they're not even being considered right now.
I mean, it's because you want to talk about guys who don't play. I mean, Philadelphia is your prime option.
Is Paul George still there?
Yeah. So talk
got
about guys,
no choice.
Guys who don't play. So that's Philadelphia's probably going to be somewhere around there, but a 50-win team, I have a hard time seeing them put together 82 games. The one thing about the Pacers is they're deep, and I do take them seriously with or without Halliburton. Yeah, they're missing probably their best player, but you also have an offseason to sort of. It's going to be a gap year. They're not winning a title. They're probably not going to win a playoff series. But in terms of dangerous, that team's always going to be dangerous. They got something to them. And I would think that is naive to think otherwise.
It's not
based
fluky.
on what we saw.
It's not fluky. I think it's a bit fluky.
How is it fluky when it happens 4 times against 4 different teams? How is that fluky?
It's not. It's not sustainable basketball in my eyes. It's not something you can consistently rely on.
Yeah, but what is your
you can't consistently.
You can't consistently rely on what they were doing game by game. They did it series by series.
I don't think you could consistently rely on being down 10 points with less than 2 minutes to go. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it happened 2 or 3 times.
I don't think you could do that, especially now without Turner.
But you're also talking about
defensively.
They had wins where they were winning by 15 and stuff like that. Yeah, are they banking on it? No. But the fact that it happened 4 times, I think that's unfair to call it a fluke because they just did it so much.
Yeah,
twice might be a fluke, but 3, 4 times, ooh. I mean, it's talking about a clutch team, and it was all Halliburton. So keep that in mind. Yeah. It's all Halliburton.
It was Halliburton and the defense, right? They were able to. I mean, that Cleveland game where they scored 7 points in 40 seconds was because the Cavs couldn't get the ball up the court. So, there's that factor too. I think also they're going to miss out on Turner and the defensive, presence he had as a 7-footer.
Maybe, but that is a deep team that I don't think will be afraid to come at teams because now they got this research confidence. That team's not going to be completely out of it. Let's move on to the Western Conference. OKC's number 1.
Yep.
I would say Houston's number 2.
I think you got it dead right there.
That's the most dangerous 2 teams in the Western Conference.
You got it dead right there. Now,
OKC and Houston.
What did we say about the Knicks? They got to prove it. Houston's got to prove it too. I understand they have Kevin Durant, but they didn't win it. You told me 2 weeks ago last week, they didn't win a playoff series last year. So they got to prove it. They're 2. But I think
most dangerous teams.
They got to prove it
to define it.
I think, and I think you're going to disagree here. You'd probably put the Nuggets at 3, if I had to guess. But
yes.
I would put the Mavericks. I would. I'd put the Mavericks at 3.
I think it's entirely too early to make that determination.
Where do you have them then, just to get a sense?
Top 6. Top 6. Dangerous could be a dangerous team, but Kyrie's not going to be playing till January.
AD's healthy. Clay's healthy. I think D'Angelo Russell's going to help as the backup point guard.
Like there's just so many question marks.
Lively, but they're deep too, bro.
Yeah, they have team. Like I get that, but not above Denver. Denver got better. Denver's the team that played OKC probably the best of any team in the Western Conference, and they took them to 7, and they were killing them at certain points. I think Denver getting better is probably without a coach is probably the biggest threat comparatively because they got Jokic too.
Do you have Minnesota higher than the Mavericks?
I do.
Okay.
I would put Minnesota, then I'd probably put the Mavericks.
Okay.
But think about that. Think about this Western Conference for a second. Let's put this into perspective. They have an OKC team that's looking to repeat. They have a Houston team that is upgraded with Kevin Durant in the mix. They still have LeBron and Doncic sitting there in L.A., who the most obvious Laker of all time is going to be DeAndre Ayton, who's one of the prize centers remaining. And
I don't like that move.
Denver Nuggets, Jokic, championship team, dangerous. We all know that. You have Minnesota, who's sort of that up-and-coming with Anthony Edwards probably entering his prime. You got the last year or 2 of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. There's a lot of teams here. There's a lot of dangerous teams here.
Let me float 2. The L.A. Clippers, who took Denver to 7. And then
the Mavericks.
And then what are the Spurs going to be?
Right.
With Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox.
That's a lot of teams.
And when I told you earlier in the show, it's like baseball right now. The NL has all the teams. The Western Conference has all the teams. You could argue with me Cleveland and the Knicks maybe being on the level of some of the 3 through 7 we just named. But I think the top 2 I think the top two separate themselves in the West with the Rockets, with a veteran like Kevin Durant and all the young talent they have there with the Amen Thompson, or is it Azur? I get the two mixed up, Kyle. And Oklahoma City. I think Oklahoma City and Houston kind of clears the other teams.
And you mentioned it. Is there a bigger waiting game than waiting on San Antonio to figure this thing out? I mean, how many more players do you need to pick up to really start to see?
Got a ton of guards on that
to really start to see some production. I mean, geez. I mean, they won 30 games last year. They were, and that was with Wembanyama. He's not going to be healthy all the time. And he had the blood clot issue, so that was a big problem. But the San Antonio Spurs got to figure it out eventually.
So Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. My God, Cal. They have three guys who
and Devin Vassell, who's a 17-point per game player.
Yep. So
that's a dangerous team too.
It is.
I that would be on the outside looking in. That's a play-in team. That is a play-in team.
And the play-in, I want to fact check myself here.
That team would be near the favorites of the Eastern
play-in,
Conference.
Kyle, the last play-in spot was 39 wins. But let me put this in perspective. 7-8, Colin, 48 wins. 7-8 on the Eastern Conference side, 41-37.
San Antonio, if they were in the Eastern Conference, would probably be the second or third favorite.
I'd say third
to come out of that conference.
Probably say third. You'd have the Cavs and the Knicks over them.
That is absurd to think about.
Yeah.
And that is a team that won 30 games last year in the Western Conference, but just off of the talent alone and just the prospect of them, that is a dangerous, dangerous team.
God, it's like, what you want to know the sad part here is like Utah has no chance next year.
There's a lot of teams, yeah.
The Pelicans, Colin, listen, did they improve in the draft? I think so. They have no chance next year.
Well, one thing about the Pelicans, too, you want to talk about a team that's probably going to offload a lot of their role players, and they're going to be on contending teams and do big things, a la Alex Caruso. That's going to be the Pelicans. Pelicans have players, and they're going to probably ship a couple of them out by year's end to load up better teams. That's what I'm expecting.
So Kyle, what about your Hornets, though?
Terrible. They
don't like the draft picks?
No, I like the 3 draft picks.
Okay.
I like Kalkbrenner. They got the kid from Duke, Con Knippel, and then they got Liam McNeely, he's a UConn guy.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about it.
That's why I said, you got LaMelo. You got LaMelo over there, too.
They got no vets. They got nobody leading the pack.
Got Miles Bridges. Been in the league almost a decade now.
Vets in the sense of leaders. They got no leaders there. That has got to be the worst run franchise.
It has to be. Colin.
They won a playoff series. They haven't won a 7-game playoff series. They've been a franchise for 27 years.
Brother, this is coming from a Cleveland fan. You know how to pick your teams, mate.
That is as bad
Hornets,
as it gets.
Your teams are as bad as they get. Hornets, Jags,
Kemba Walker shouldn't have been
A's.
drafted there. That was the big problem.
Why the hell aren't you rooting for the Yankees? The Red Sox?
No.
You grew up in the area.
Terrible fans. Well, Kemba Walker shouldn't have been drafted by the Charlotte Bobcats, went 9-59 in the lockout year. Went to go see that team play. Carmelo Anthony had 60 points, zero assists.
Hang on, you got former Cavalier lottery pick Colin Sexton on the roster now. You're chock full of lottery
Now they're
picks.
trying to become the Celtics because they got a lot of Celtics guys running the team now in front office and coaching. So they're doing a little bit of a revamp, but that's another player who I think could be shipped out eventually is LaMelo. I could see them moving on from him.
I heard a couple of things like other players don't really like playing with them. Read that a couple of days ago.
I can look at the floor and understand what they're talking about. You could watch them play and understand when he does his one-legged three-pointer from 29 feet. I wouldn't like that either.
He sells tickets.
Yeah. So how many tickets does he sell, Mike? 6,000? How many tickets
You
does
get
he
rid
sell?
of LaMelo. I mean, what, Brandon Miller is the best player on the team?
Is the attendance going to go from 6,300 to 4,700?
So many me guys on this team between Bridges, Miller, and
That's
Ball.
why it's good that you brought. That's why I love the draft pick of Knippel. That guy was. You watch Knippel play at Duke, and he was that second fiddle to Cooper Flagg. But that's going to be somebody who plays 15 years in the NBA.
So many me guys on this team.
They're terrible.
Miller's averaging 20 a game. LaMelo's averaging 28, 25.
No
how many
leadership.
wins?
They got no leadership. They got no leadership. It's laughable how bad they are not taken seriously as an NBA team.
They're not, clearly.
Like, at least the Browns have promise, but they're still terrible.
Yeah,
there's nothing there.
No.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there. There's Myles Garrett.
There's nothing in Charlotte. It's hard to be a fan of an awful NBA team.
Now, last time I'll ask, and I promise I'm done. There's no awful team that was bad last year outside of the Sixers that's going to surprise you. I don't think so. I don't
Unless you want to count the Spurs, but other than
No, you can't. You can't.
Right.
The Wemby got hurt.
There's just too many good teams. There's too many good teams. The NBA is even right now.
Like,
Parity is something that we should be gracious
and it's why I bring it up because like the NFL, a team that won 4 games last year might make the playoffs. A team that won 5 games last year might make the playoffs. It is not like that in basketball, and it is not like that in baseball either.
They insert 10 to 12 new players a year into an NFL lineup.
Correct.
That makes a world of a difference.
But like basketball and baseball, no hope.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Russo and Rizzo into the second hour. We'll do a little 5 and 5 on the flip side. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo taking a time out here. ESPN 106.3.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS air conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
I mean, indoors, likely if you're in South Florida on July 4th. Still going to be hot, though, and because of that, you got to make sure your AC unit is up to date. John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing have been proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. They keep your home cool and comfortable, and the best part is, if you don't even know if your unit needs to be checked on, maintenance, diagnostic checks, one of their highly trained technicians will come to your home, make sure everything is all squared away, and it doesn't even matter the brand or the age. 90% of system breakdowns on units less than 10 years old, they all could have been prevented had they been regularly scheduled checked. So, don't fall for that. Don't become that statistic, and make sure you are cool over the holiday weekend. Visit John C. Cassidy. Go see them today in person or visit CassidyAC.com. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Second hour here. If you're missing any of the program, you missed any of it, want to listen back, go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Russo and Rizzo, there to got you covered. Also watching live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You could stream live and watch us all, see our pretty faces there. Christian Cat, our producer today at the City Place Studios. Christian, hello. How are you?
Man, this rain is a killer, isn't it? We just got it every single day, same time of day. I know it's summer in South Florida, but it's driving me insane because the schedule of which that I take my dogs out in the morning and at night is now coinciding with when we get our scheduled rain showers. So that's how I'm doing.
One thing about the weekend, too, is it's likely going to be like this the whole weekend. So
I know.
Did that rain on any plans of yours?
Yes, when I was at Disney, it did rain while we were on one of those river rides. So we got soaked, whether we liked it or not, from the bottom of the water and the top of the heavens raining down upon us. And lightning, it kicked me off the golf course. We were playing golf at Disney on a Sunday, and we only got 10 holes in because of the rainstorm. So the rain's been tough to me.
The rain, it's supposed to rain 4th of July, I'm assuming is what you alluded to, Colin.
It's supposed to rain all weekend.
Now, I was going to go out with the boys. You know, Mike Jones, partnership coordinator, Lucas Rubio, marketing facilitator. I was going to go out with the boys.
That's the boys.
We don't need the credentials.
Yeah, we do. We need the credentials.
No one needs the credentials.
We need the credentials.
It doesn't add anything to the story.
Hold on. They're the boys. Go ahead.
I was going to go out with them. Kyle, if it rains, I'm not leaving the apartment.
What do you mean?
I'll go work out.
Bring an umbrella. Nah, dude. You're not going to go?
Probably won't. If it rains, I'll probably just watch.
You're going to be indoors somewhere.
I'll watch the weekend series on baseball, you know, watch a little FIFA Club World Cup, play some Destiny. That'll be it.
That's the one thing about the 4th of July. If you don't go outside and spend some time, not a good sports viewing holiday. No, they encourage you to touch grass. You watch your favorite baseball team if you're lucky. You watch the hot dog eating contest, and that's it.
Mike?
I'm laughing at something Christian said because I'm a 5-year-old, but
touch grass.
Yeah, I'm laughing at that.
You were going to remove from letters.
You've never
heard of the phrase "touch grass"?
You need to touch some grass this weekend.
You got to get some. Like if that's going to trigger you off,
you need to touch
You're about to blow.
You need to touch grass.
Yeah, I think it's some, but
clogged up to the eyeballs, dude.
Yeah, no, but
come on.
Yeah, I probably should go do something with the boys this weekend, but we'll see.
Why not?
We'll see.
I did schedule a couple of tee times already. Got my Friday. I'm going to go on the 4th of July. Going to go on Sunday, try a new course out. So I've got my bases covered. Hopefully,
yeah, that's if you could play them, yeah.
I know, and I'm so cheap that I don't want to pay the 7 a.m. tee times, so I'm waiting until the late afternoon to play, which is when the rainstorms come.
Usually when the thunderstorms do, yeah.
I punish myself with this frugality each and every day.
How do they do it at golf? Do they have one of those like pool sirens that it just starts going off?
Yes, lightning siren, very loud, where if you tee off, or at some courses if you pay, you can play at your own, like, they're not going to rip you off, but they can prevent you from starting. So once you're on the course, they won't mandate you to leave, but they can prevent you from starting on the course.
Okay.
But then it's not like it's in the Northeast where you can get through a rainstorm and just hang out. Like, you get those forceful winds where the trees are going back and forth.
It's a hurricane for like 5-minute periods.
Exactly. Like, even the strongest of willed golfer will have to, like, get under cover and get some protection because of how crazy you can get out here.
All right. So Christian might get rained on, quite literally, the entire weekend with your July 4th plans. It's a good week. It's a good weekend to get out. Jeez, I'm going up to the Jersey Shore. Thank God I put that together. I mean,
Nice.
it's going to be nice and rainy here.
You got a couple of buddies meeting you up there?
Yeah, that'll be a good time. But the thing is, July 4th, I think I've said this before, where I said we're on Memorial Day. It doesn't feel that big in South Florida because it's just there's nothing to celebrate because this is the peak of summer everywhere else in the continental United States. This is not the peak summer here. This is like the peak winter because it's flipped.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game, though, because when you talk about the winter, what do you think about the season of winter? You think of snow, and that's not here either.
Exactly.
What do you think
Thank
about
God.
the color change of leaves? Okay, that's not here either. So then
Right,
there is no season here. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that Florida only operates at their own wavelength. I think the part of the allure of July 4th is, of course, to celebrate the Declaration of Independence, but number two, to celebrate it's a summer holiday. It's an outdoorsy holiday.
Boating would be great, but to your point, it's going to be bad weather. So no boating. You know, I'm kind of with you. It's probably a little overrated down here, but I've never.
If you like fireworks, this is a big firework.
Can you do fireworks
it's
during
raining.
rainstorms?
Wait till you hear about the 5 at 5, then you get the answer to that question.
Let's do that. 5 at 5, presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas. No brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union. Proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Travis Kelce. Well, if you remember in the past year, he hosted SNL. Well, what was the hardest part of hosting SNL? Was it getting your makeup done? Was it keeping it cool and keeping a straight face with all these legendary comedians around you? No. Travis Kelce, the hardest part of hosting SNL was reading. He said, I'm not very good at reading, so that part of it, when you're going through the show, was kind of bleeped up. Do we maybe overestimate how smart pro athletes are if Travis Kelce isn't good at reading?
And he's married to like a world-renowned songwriter.
All right, not married yet.
Or essentially, right?
No.
People
not
think,
engaged either.
Yeah. People think that's a fixed arrangement, but I'm not one of them.
Wait.
Who are people in this situation?
Just, you know, the
Fixed
NFL.
for what?
Just for NFL views.
You think the NFL paid Travis Kelce to date the biggest pop star in the world?
I'll listen to a good conspiracy theory.
Travis Kelce.
I don't believe in it, but
also went on to say the biggest regret of his life was doing the Catching Kelce dating show where he was the prize and there were a bunch of women fighting for his love.
Like a bachelor?
I
Yes.
do not remember that.
Yeah, it was before he was like all-pro, best in the world tight end Travis Kelce. He said that was one of the biggest regrets in his life. Mike, would you want to do a dating show where you are the catch and not the chaser?
No.
Why not?
Because it's fixed. It's not real love. I don't
You're
buy.
the one, you're the
But you
one
can
who's
change that.
controlling.
I don't buy into the Bachelor and stuff like that because
You don't have
none
to
of
marry-
them end
no,
up.
no, nobody's saying
none
you
of
have to
them end
marry
up.
him.
None of them end up together.
This is to find
It's
somebody.
a waste of time.
Hold on.
If you want to,
This is
you
just
can
to find
be the
this is
change
just-
you want to see in the world.
This is just find somebody. You don't have to marry him.
Nah, it's a waste of time. I'm good. I meet plenty of women.
If anything, it's the most efficient
manner.
manner.
I meet plenty of women and go on plenty of dates.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. So you don't need it?
No, I don't want it. I don't want to be on a TV show. Tina was onto something with the Love Island stuff. That the more I thought about it, dude, apparently, I can't look anywhere without seeing what happened on Love Island, and I still don't understand what happened on Love Island after watching it about 40 times.
Wait, what? Like the clips you're saying?
Yeah,
online?
I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on.
You probably could have watched the show to understand what's going on.
Probably.
If I were to guess, I'd venture to say that.
But, I know you're being hard on me, Christian. I just don't understand the point of the show either.
You're finding love.
They're not. It's fixed. They're plants.
They're finding love, Mike.
No, they're not. They're creating views and money for their TV programs, and fair play to them. But I don't watch that garbage.
But you could people speed date without a camera crew, and they do it that way as well. It's sort of the same thing. For you, at least.
Not for me, bud.
All right, so Catching Rizzo not coming summer 2026.
Amazon Prime's not picking that up?
Not coming to a streaming service near you.
Oh, man.
Number 2.
Well, maybe you can relate to this guy because the Diamondbacks have banned season ticket holder nicknamed the Home Run Thief from Chase Field after multiple incidences of fan interference on home run balls. There have been 4 consecutive seasons where this one individual, 55-year-old man who's a season ticket holder, brings his glove to the game, where he has been involved in a replay review on fan interference. Do you like this guy? Do you hate this guy?
I like this guy.
Do you envy this guy?
I don't envy him. Do you envy him?
This guy's awesome.
Why?
He's the ultimate fan. He's becoming a part of the game.
But there's no place for that.
Because he's, with all due respect, a loser chasing after a home run ball that he has 100 of at home. I don't know. I have a real problem with people like...
This is not Zach Campbell, by the way. This is not the original foul ball guy that goes to a lot of Yankee games. I believe he caught Alex Rodriguez's 3,000th hit, if I'm not mistaken. He got in trouble because he weaseled his way into a military-only baseball game in order to get that collectible baseball. This is not that guy. This is a new guy on the West Coast in Arizona.
Like, Colin, if I'm lucky enough to catch, someone's home run ball and I'm able to sell it for a ton of money, great. But I'm not going to break my back over going for a foul ball. I have a real problem with guys not giving foul balls or whatever to kids and whatever that are there. They want the ball. What do you need the ball for?
Do you have a foul ball?
I mean, I have signed baseballs.
Were there no kids around to take the signed baseball?
I've never kept a foul ball. I've always given it away to someone in the section.
You want to hear an embarrassing story? The first ever ball I've ever gotten at a Major League Baseball game happened at Marlins Park, before it was called Lone Depot Park, down the road. I was sitting down the right field line. It was an 11:30 a.m. first pitch for some reason. And it was a toss-up from one of the employees of the Marlins who was jogging back into the dugout. And it got tossed up to the guy that was 2 rows behind me. Dang it, I missed out. But I was pleading and begging for this ball so intensely that the grown man 2 rows behind me gave me the ball. And you can guess what age I was. I was 20 years old. And he pitied me so much that he gave another grown man a baseball because I wanted it more than him.
I think you've told me that. So
it happened. I told you the story while we were at Roger Dean the other day.
That's right. So this guy, what'd you say to him?
I didn't ask for it from the guy, but he got my attention. Hey, you want it? I go, yeah. And he goes, here you go. I said, thank you. And I didn't refuse it.
So he pitied you before you even said it. He didn't even say anything. He was just looking at you. He's like, this kid looks like he needs a little pick-me-up.
Well, I was calling for the ball from the guy jogging back in the dugout. So he saw that I was in the market for a foul ball. The toss from the employee didn't go in my direction. It went in his direction. So I didn't dive over the rows to get the ball. But he saw that this ball would mean a more lot to me than it would for him.
How could he tell that?
Just the disappointment in my eyes when the ball didn't go to me.
Wow. What? Did you never have a foul ball before?
I've never gotten a foul ball.
That was my first. It was in there's different classifications because is a ball handed to you considered a foul ball? I feel like you got to catch the ball in a home run or an actual foul ball to catch a foul ball. I got a foul ball.
I understand the sentiment now you guys are trying to make is that I've gotten so many foul balls in my lifetime that I'm gatekeeping a bit. I understand that.
So when you say got, like you've been in the crowd and a ball was off of that and you caught it.
We had Indians season tickets for 10 years, and we sat, Christian, behind home plate, second deck, first row. Guys are always fouling balls up there. So granted, I grew up with plenty of baseballs. My old man would get me, I have those great 90s teams. I have Omar Vizquel, Jim Thome, whatever, sign balls. Like, now I understand. Maybe I'm gatekeeping a bit since I have balls like that. But it's to the point where I think if you're in a crowd and you see a 7-year-old and you catch a foul ball and that kid looks at you with puppy eyes, I think you're a psychopath if you don't give that kid the ball. I do. Unless you have kids yourself.
What if it's signed?
I'm not memorabilia guy. Have it. Have it.
Hold on, but all the signed baseballs you have.
Those aren't, Colin, they're not fouling signed balls off at the ballpark. I don't understand.
Well, you had a baseball, and hold on, wait.
I don't understand. Like, Kyle,
this
foul
is mine
ball.
Now that it's signed.
Colin,
you could have the worthless one.
You could have it. You're not getting my Jim Thome baseball because that's my favorite baseball player ever, or Omar for that matter. But it's to the, like, foul ball lands in my lap. I look around. First thing I do, I look around. Because I know that there's going to be a kid who ran 4 rows down with his glove and his,
It feels like the message is traveling, and these kids are getting more and more entitled as the years go on.
They should be. They're 8 years old.
They're not entitled to a ball that they didn't catch. Like, what's the point of that? No. If you catch the ball,
earn it.
That's great. It's yours. If someone gets your attention and throws it to you, that's great. That guy's a good guy, and you should be thankful. But when a grown man catches a foul ball, there should not be 12 children that huddle to his section and say, please, can I get the ball?
It sets a bad example. It sets a bad example.
It's a handout culture.
Hold on. 180 seconds after you told your story about getting a foul ball donated to you?
I didn't ask for it.
You wanted it.
I wanted it before it got into his hands. Once it got to another man's hands, that was his ball.
How did it feel when you had it? Did it feel unearned?
It felt so embarrassing.
Did it feel, you felt a little charity?
My favorite foul ball I gave away was it was this 5-year-old kid who, came down to the section. He saw it coming up. He came down to the section. It literally fell in my lap, my buddy Gomer and I's lap. And I look over to the kid and, he's got the hat that's 2 sizes too big on. He's got his dad's big glove. I gave him the ball. 3 innings later, when they went to leave in like the 8th inning, the dad comes up to me and said, listen, man, that made it. This was his first game. That made his night. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that kid's going to be homeless in 15 years. He hasn't worked a day in his life. Okay. He's used to the handouts.
Because he's entitled. He's entitled.
Yeah, he'll be cashing those government checks. Way to go, Mike.
Sets a bad principle. You're setting a bad principle.
3.
I can't take that serious. That was me hitting the number.
He'll be sucking on the teat of the American government. That's what that kid's going to do.
No hustlers. Where are the hustlers at?
Exactly. Back in my day, we earned our baseballs. Happy National UFO Day. Have you ever had an encounter with the third kind?
No. Have you?
No.
I haven't either. I wish I have.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. There's a rumor that,
There's a rumor.
This is you spreading the rumor. So
this
it's your
is
rumor?
me spreading a rumor. I told you I love a good conspiracy theory. Before we turned into humans, human DNA was foreign to the earth. It came to the earth.
All right.
Do you like that one?
Is this from a comic book?
Kind of do. No.
Okay.
No, it's from some crazy deep dive when I was up at 3 a.m, couldn't sleep, doom scrolling YouTube shorts.
Have you ran into ghosts?
Yes.
I have as well.
I haven't. Now, so it turned out it was a dream, but I dreamt of my grandfather, and he was in a ghostly figure form, and we were talking, but I thought I was sleepwalking, but it turned out I was on the couch.
No, yeah, my childhood home, man, I would hear footsteps every night.
Wow.
Like, when it's a carpeted downstairs, but there's a little bit of air between the carpet and the floor that it's laid upon, where you can almost hear the footsteps on the carpet because of that. I would always hear footsteps downstairs.
In 2014, 2015, excuse me. My dad and I went to Milwaukee to go watch Bucks Cavs, and we were going to a Packer game, doing a double whammy. And it was a Saturday night game. LeBron was on Cleveland. It was like the first or second year he was back. Giannis was young. Good game. LeBron had like 37 points. Like 135, 132. We stayed at the Pfister Hotel. You can look it up. There is an ESPN.com article about specifically the Pfister Hotel and how MLB teams and MLB players, good MLB players, no longer stay there because there's something in it. And I didn't know that going in. And there was something in that room. My dad could swear by it, and I will swear by it too. I'm not one of those guys. There was something in that room with us. I'll die by it. I can't explain it. There was something there.
He said the same thing?
He said the same thing. Bryce Harper left in the middle of the night. Mookie Betts left in the middle of the night. True stories. You can look it up, ESPN.com. I think it was Adrian Beltre who had a terrible experience there. Multiple good players. There's a whole thing about different stories of that hotel screwing with them.
You guys afraid of the dark?
No.
Yes. Hey, can I react to this? Because this is the scariest dream I ever had, and it involved the ghost. Now, boys, I suffer from something.
Is that a react to that?
I suffer. I think it has a medical term to it. I'm sleeping, but I'm awake.
Yes.
And I'm like paralyzed.
Yes. Sleep paralysis.
Bro.
It's scary. It's happened to me once.
So I was watching that. I'll never forget. This was in Peoria, Illinois. This was one of my first nights sleeping at my apartment. And I was watching Naruto before I went to bed. And there's I'm not going to get into what the ghost looks like. It's a ceiling jutsu and whatever. The ghost is terrifying, okay? I'm sleeping and I have the paralysis and I know I'm dreaming. And I'm trying to wake up. I can't wake up. I'm fully paralyzed. I look to my right. I see the ceiling ghost. He goes, Michael. And I woke up. That was the last time that I woke up and went, ah! You know what I mean? Freaked out. Totally freaked out. Jumped out of bed.
Damn.
Dude, but sleep paralysis sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I
don't know. How do you fix that?
I had sleep paralysis once, and I thought I was actively in the middle of a stroke. I felt my face feel numb in a way, which is terrifying. Maybe I did have a stroke.
I didn't feel anything, but it's like I could hear myself breathing, and I'm literally looking at my room as it is, and I'm just completely paralyzed. Scary stuff. And I looked over, I saw the terrifying ghost say my name. I woke up in a dead sweat.
Huh.
Crazy.
Happy National UFO Day. What's more likely to be real?
You don't sleep on your back. That's how you fix it. Go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You're right, because every single time I was on my back.
That's why it happens.
It's more likely to be real, aliens or ghosts?
Aliens.
Definitely aliens.
Statistically. It's called the Drake equation, I believe.
Okay.
It's the statistical chances that there are extraterrestrial life just off the probability alone. Yeah.
You think we'll live in the existence of aliens
the real
and
question,
admit
I think
that
aliens,
they're real in our lifetime?
The real question is whether we have actually had contact in some capacity with extraterrestrial life at any point given in time, radio, whatever it is. That's the real question. I'm under the impression that something's out there that's alive.
I could be dead wrong here, Christian. I think aliens are humans. I think they're just humans on different planets. I think they look exactly like us.
All right, that's just statistically, no, that's improbable.
I think they look
not the case.
I think they look exactly like us.
Why?
Because I'm going to believe the doom scrolling 3 a.m. video that I saw that human DNA came to the earth.
Oh, dude, I watched so much Travel Channel and Discover Channel where just the Bigfoot shows,
I was about to say,
Paranormal Activity
Mike would
shows.
love Finding Bigfoot.
Yes.
Season 8, they're come close. They cut to commercial.
Ghost Adventurers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Those
but the
shows are
Bigfoot show.
awful.
My cousin and I, we were staying at a hotel back when 10 years ago, and that thing came on, and the intro cracked me up on the Bigfoot show. The guy goes, "We've seen them. They're here." We started dying laughing at that. We've seen them. They're here.
That used to be my summer binge. We're just watching shows like that where they're either hunting paranormal things, maybe the Loch Ness Monster,
oh god,
or the Swamp Ape.
It's so
I love
nonsense.
those shows.
It's
or there
so
would
nonsense.
be fictionized encounters where they would, based on a true story, where there'd be actors and they would entirely just reenact what someone's eyewitness account was. I love that slop.
It's all nonsense. If you want to see some ghosts, and you want to see Pfister Hotel, Milwaukee,
That's the only
Wisconsin. It's top 10 in the United States in terms of haunted
it's
hotels.
still there?
Is it the Marilyn Monroe
Yeah,
one?
the Pfister, Pfister, or OR, one of the two.
Huh. Well,
something's there. Ask my father. You could ask me. I swear by it. There was something in that room.
You know what's scarier than ghosts?
Number 4.
Whoever has the responsibility of getting into the box against Clayton Kershaw tonight because Clayton Kershaw is 3 strikeouts away from his 3,000th K, and he's doing it at Dodger Stadium. Do you think there's ever going to be anyone else in baseball history that has 3,000 strikeouts after Clayton Kershaw does it tonight?
Yes, I do. Because I think pitchers are coming up younger. The thing about Kershaw's probably the best pitcher of this generation. Verlander was probably better over a longer period of time, but Kershaw had the best prime. The thing about it is the Scherzer, Kershaw, and Verlander class, they're going to be few and far between. But there's going to be guys like that who are able to put together 16 to 20-year careers of high-level pitching. I don't think that's necessarily... It's not going to go out with the times. It's just not going to happen.
I'm on the fence here because these pitchers now, guys, they come in throwing 100. Like back in the day, the reason the Tom Glabbins of the world, the Maddoxes of the world, the reason why they were able to go deep into games, they weren't throwing 100 in the first inning. They picked their spots when they wanted to throw their arm out. They don't pitch a lot of innings. I'm going to say no because who's probably the next, but this year 100
young enough.
Listen, I love a K per 9 guy and that he is that, but 115 strikeouts and 111 innings pitched, I just don't know if he's going to pitch enough innings. That's my thing because you only go 5 or 6 now and you're getting pulled. You're not going deep into games. Kershaw would go, granted, I feel like Kershaw, Scherzer, and that group, Kyle, were the last group that would consistently go 7+.
I will say to add some drama into tonight's game, it's Dodgers-White Sox. You're only there for the history at that point. Kershaw's got to mow down the 1 batter in the order, the 2 batter in the order in the first inning via strikeout, because that would be cool. If he strikes out the side in the top of the first inning.
You see a little vintage Kershaw?
Right? That would make this moment a little bit more special if you ask
Colin,
me.
Spencer Strider is a fantastic pitcher. He's not going to be, number one, injuries. Number 2, he doesn't go deep enough into games. So with how baseball and the trajectory of baseball is going, I do question if there's going to be a 3,000 strikeout guy again.
The way I look at it is there's pitchers who have 15, 20-year careers are not going to go out the window. It's not never going to happen again. So because of that, I would be under the impression that we are going to see this again. I do. You're talking about 200 strikeout seasons. Is that never going to happen again? Of course. You get 15 years of 200 strikeout seasons, you're going to be right there. Number 4, 5?
Number 5.
Wrap it up with some 4th of July talk. It's on a Friday this weekend, so you are more likely than not going to have fireworks being lit up in South Florida on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Those are the 3 guarantees that if you live in Palm Beach County or in the Treasure Coast, you're going to hear fireworks those nights. But my question for you, Mike and Colin, what is the socially acceptable both time of day and days on the calendar to light up fireworks?
I'm going to sound hypocritical here because I've actually, I've lit fireworks well past 1 in the morning before, in Madison, Wisconsin in May. But the acceptable time in a suburban neighborhood, let's call it, not in a city. City, you're dealing with the noise, whatever. Noise is part of the deal. But in a neighborhood, on a holiday, get it done before 1:30.
That's too late.
Way too late.
Get it
Way
done
too
before
late.
1.
Are you kidding me?
Way too late.
I'm talking 10:30 max.
So, Christian,
put them away.
That's old man of you. I don't like that.
I went, growing up in the suburb we would do fireworks and watch them at Fultz Field every year, and it was at 9 o'clock. And they were done by about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I can't really remember when. If you're firing off fireworks after 10:30 p.m., I kind of, it's not socially acceptable at that point.
Now let's look on the calendar. With the 4th of July on a Friday, and by Florida law, the only 3 days on the 365-day calendar that are legal to light up fireworks are on the 4th of July, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. When should you be lighting up fireworks?
I'm anti-fireworks. I think fireworks are actually, hypocritical again. Tremendously dangerous. They really are. There is a lot of things that could go wrong with fireworks.
That's the fun, though.
That's how they get you. That's big firework trying to sell you on the mission, That's the big companies trying to sell you. They're really, really dangerous.
A big-time sports town winning a championship for the first time in a while, you fire off a firework. Baby.
Oh, yeah.
If the Indians win a World Series within the next 30 years, I'm firing fireworks off. It's the only time I'll ever light a firework. I've never lit outside of a sparkler, by the way, I've never lit a firework.
Oh, you're missing out, man.
I can't. I'm like Colin. They're dangerous, dude. I want to blow.
They are dangerous.
What happened with Jason Pierre-Paul?
He blew his hand off.
Blew his hand off. And they don't call him Pierre-Paul anymore. They call him Pierre-Paw because he's got a paw because he blew it off lighting fireworks.
One of the recent major sports championships, when they were celebrating in the streets, it might have been an Eagles fan at the past Super Bowl, lit off a firework and the fuse was so short it blew his hand off. Not all the way off, or he was just leaking blood. He definitely
Are you lighting fireworks this weekend, Christian?
See, I am, like you, very hypocritical. I like lighting off fireworks. I hate being in my apartment with my dogs where fireworks are being lit off. I don't have plans this weekend.
You also have dogs are a nightmare with fireworks around. They're a nightmare.
Really are.
And I talked about it today on Theoretically Speaking about how my neighbors leave their dogs out 24/7. So there was a terrible rainstorm and they were left outside. But if there's one day a year or occasion a year where you need to bring your dogs inside that you normally don't, got to be the firework nights, because that's when dogs get lost. They want to jump the fence. They're scared. They're running away. I love fireworks. I would make my mom drive us across state lines because you can't buy fireworks in New York where I was living, but you can buy fireworks in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that was it, Pennsylvania.
And we would drive across state lines about 45 minutes. We'd get lunch, and we'd get buy one, get one on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of July at Phantom Fireworks. So I would stock up on bottle rockets and hide them under my bed as if I'm a ne'er-do-well and I was going to do harm or something, like I had some bad intentions, when in reality, I would hot glue paintballs to bottle rockets and light them off my backyard. That's what I would do. And then, shoot them at targets of plywood.
Wow. Are you a pyromaniac?
Yes.
You like fire.
I love fire. I used to light toilet paper on fire.
Men like fire. That's a boys thing.
Yes.
Boys like fire for some reason. I'm not a big fire guy, but boys like fire.
Oh, pouring gasoline over a bonfire and then tossing
Not for me. A bonfire, yes. Have somebody else organize it. I'll show up.
I'm the same way.
I'll show up.
You don't have to
I'm kind of scared of fire.
Skill? Is that
my
what you said?
buddy, one of my buddies got burned, and we were in 6th grade. All through, the kid burn mark all over his arm for the rest of his life.
I'd get a brand before I got a tattoo.
Brand of what?
What?
I don't know.
Penn State, Nittany Lion?
Yes, just the lion there.
ESPN West Palm on your back?
Hang on.
We should do that. New hires.
Hang on. Big season coming up for James Franklin and Penn State.
Penn State wins the national championship.
Will you get
I'll
branded
flip a coin.
on air?
I don't think they would allow us to do that.
No?
But I would.
I think you're just saying that. I think there's...
Christian, someone would come in here and give you a tattoo on camera of the Nittany Lion if they win the national championship.
I would be single, actually. If I actually branded myself, my girlfriend would leave me.
What about a tattoo?
It's so cheesy.
It is.
It's
I'm
so
not tattoo.
lame.
I am not tattoo guy.
What about a tattoo on your face?
No. Stop it.
I would do a butt tattoo. That's like what I would do.
I don't think we could do that on air.
I could lower the pant a little bit.
No.
See the top. If there's no crack available, and there's
Christian,
no...
what we would have to do is we would just get your face on camera and have the guy on your buttocks giving you the tap.
Well, then what's the point of getting a butt tat if you don't show people the butt tat?
He's got to just...
If you just cover up all the surrounding area of my buttocks and you only see the skin, that would be fine.
But listen, Penn State would have to... Do you think Penn State's winning the national title next year?
No.
If Penn State wins a national title next year, I will get a butt tattoo.
Kyle, they're the number 1 team in the country heading into the preseason poll.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
When is the ceremony for the trophy?
Mark it down. Hold me to that. I will get a butt tattoo, Penn State related, national championship
related. How about Mike and I will make it Penn State related, but we get to surprise you with the design.
No. No.
What do you mean no?
What's the point of that?
Just have it. Listen, Christian,
if
you're
Ohio
watching...
State beats Penn State in the national championship game, Mike gets to choose your Penn State tattoo on your butt.
Listen,
and vice versa if Penn State beats Ohio State.
I understand that it almost happened last
Niche
year.
opportunity, but that's why it's interesting.
Do you know how long, do you know how everything would have to go right for Ohio State to play Penn State in the Natty? A lot of things would need to happen in order for that to happen.
That's why you put the wager down.
No, I'm going to keep it simple, stupid. I'm going to go Penn State Natty butt tattoo. Mark it in pen.
How big? A hand size.
My butt's not that big. That'd be like a full butt.
All right. Half a hand size. Your palm.
Colin and I, on the other hand.
Oh, you've got
Take it
dumpers?
Yeah, we do.
Cal Rally?
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Hey, now.
Palm.
I'd go...
You're a human palm. An adult male palm. That works. That's a fine size tattoo.
It's big, Colin. That's big, mate.
What do you want, a thumbprint? Dude, let's go.
Hang on.
Let's
Index
lean
finger.
in. Index finger.
Index finger. Small.
I think I'd go palm.
Yeah.
I'd go palm. That's
You're
what,
gonna
like...
get a tattoo. I mean, geez.
6 inch in circumference about.
Christian, you're going to get a butt tattoo if Penn State wins it all.
That's not crazy.
I'm going to hold you to that.
That's not crazy.
Brother, if you...
That's not crazy.
I'll give you one more chance to back out of it right now.
No, I would do it.
That's not crazy.
Okay, well...
This year, 2026 or 2025, 2026, national champions in the football field.
If Wisconsin wins the national championship this year, I'll get a face tattoo.
They're not, but...
Face tattoo.
No, stop it.
Face tattoo.
Ooh.
Actually...
Bucky Badger underneath my left eye.
Bucky's Badgers?
Ooh. We were close to...
Listen, my team won the national championship last year, boys, and I did not get any tattoos.
See how close Arizona State was last year? Wisconsin as a program is not that far off from Arizona State.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is.
Especially with the Christian, their schedule is
Christian,
just...
you should look up their schedule
Dude,
and break.
it's unbelievable.
And let me
what
know.
that tells me is opportunities for quality wins. That's what tells me.
Christian,
you take a look and you let me know how many games will be favored in past September 28th.
Quickly. Alabama on the road, and Ohio State goes to Camp Randall this year. Those are 2 losses right off the bat.
Vanderbilt beat Alabama last year.
They play Michigan. They play Oregon.
I mean...
They play awful. Washington. They play Indiana.
Listen, they could beat Michigan. I'll say that.
Who is Wisconsin quarterback? They get someone from the portal or something?
They got Billy Edwards, a transfer backup from Maryland.
That is not sexy.
God,
and Danny Ortiz, who is the backup at San Diego State University.
Listen,
Danny Ortiz gave me my Big Mac this morning. That's what Danny Ortiz is. I've never heard of those people in my life.
You gave someone a Big Mac this morning?
He gave me a Big Mac.
He's making a point about Danny Ortiz.
I'm sorry.
So Danny Ortiz is the backup, and Billy Edwards, I think, will be the starter.
But
look, right?
You got a Buckeye receiver. I forget his name because he never played for us, but he transferred.
And you know what's great? I'll do it in South Florida. That's what the national championship game is. I assume that I'll be in attendance of that game.
We'll do it at Hard Rock.
I'll go from the stadium directly to a tattoo parlor.
Okay. Done.
That'd be awesome, though. Like, obviously, I'm rooting for my Buckeyes, but like, if Penn State won this year and the Buckeyes won the year before, 2 of us with an edge. Now all Wisconsin needs to do is figure it out.
Never going to happen.
Just the Big Ten dominating.
I love
Michigan the year before.
Never going to happen.
No, outside of the Michigan.
Wisconsin's never going.
Come on now.
Don't worry about it. They're never going to win.
Iowa, hey?
No.
I'd rather be Iowa right now than Wisconsin.
I'd rather be Illinois, the Fighting Illini, than Wisconsin.
Who Wisconsin
right
also
now.
has on the road.
Tough game. Don't sleep on Champaign,
Check
Illinois.
their schedule. We'll take a timeout. We'll close out the program next. It's Russo Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. 2 of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. Don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Breaking news on ESPN 1063 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Breaking news presented by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. DeAndre Ayton has officially, we said it earlier in the show, signing with the Los Angeles Lakers per Shams Charania. Ayton's going to make $34 million next season, so I guess relatively cheap. That doesn't sound that cheap, but cheap enough. The Lakers get their center. He is going to be on the Los Angeles Lakers next year. That is our breaking news presented by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063. Mike Rizzo. Well, now you can take a look at Hard Rock Bet and see what the odds are if you're a Laker fan now that DeAndre Ayton's in the fold, huh?
Folks, download the app today. That is the Hard Rock Bet app, Google Play Store, Apple App Store. You could kickstart your betting journey the right way on Hard Rock Bet. New customers who bet just $5 get $150 in bonus bets. That's right. $5 to get $150 into your account. Use it like cash on your next picks. Keep in mind, too, if you're a tennis fan, Hard Rock Bet's annual Table Tennis Appreciation Week, it's going to be running July 14th through the 20th, giving players profit boosts and no sweat bets. A lot of cool stuff coming up. No more Battle of the Bets, but we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up with Hard Rock Bet. You could also step into the cage and bet like a champion for every big fight and UFC fight. Make your picks and pick more powerful punches on Hard Rock Bet with 18% profit boosts for the 318 fights. That is a Hard Rock Bet app offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in the state of Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. And also, if you're a football fan of the Club FIFA World Cup, go check out ESPN West Palm on Instagram. I did a little parlay that might spice things up for you.
Well, think about it. It's going to be a rainy weekend. You want to spend it indoors somewhere. You know what has a roof? Lone Depot Park. The Miami Marlins in town this weekend for July 4th, and you have your opportunity to get some tickets. Miami Marlins this weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers. That will be Saturday, July 5th at 4 p.m. 4-pack. That's 4 tickets. That is 4 tickets to Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers on Saturday. Go take the family, have a good time because it's going to be raining everywhere else. Go enjoy a little baseball. How are we going to do it? We're going to go to break. And the caller number, what number, Christian?
We're going to do caller number 6, and just a slight correction. Never mind. Saturday, July 5th.
It's Saturday, July 5th, 4:10
Caller number
p.m.
6. Caller number 6.
All right, let's do caller number 6. 6, I like that number. Lucky number 6, July 4th weekend. There's an easy one for 4, but we're doing caller number 6. 888-760-3776. Caller number 6 gets 4 tickets to Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers. Call now. 888-760-3776. Taking a time out here. Go get some tickets. Once again, 888-760-3776. Marlins, Brewers, 4:10, Saturday. Call now. Taking a time out. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man! When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Good people, it's Theo Dorsey. Celebrate Independence Day with baseball at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium for the Mega Bash July 3rd and 4th. Don't miss the biggest 4th of July party in Jupiter as the Palm Beach Cardinals and the Jupiter Hammerheads take the field. Both games start at 6 p.m. featuring post-game fireworks and the Mega Kids area with inflatables. Stop by the ticket office today or go to RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com to purchase your tickets.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. It's Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Now through Tuesday, save up to 70% on top brands and get a queen mattress for just $89.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Kane is in the building.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Congratulations to caller number 6. Mike in Wellington can enjoy some Miami Marlins baseball this Saturday, 4:10 p.m. between the Miami Marlins and the Milwaukee Brewers. Congratulations to Mike. Go take the family, take whoever you want, and get out of the rain because it looks like it's going to be raining here in South Florida. So a perfect opportunity to go watch some baseball with our pals over at the Miami Marlins. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, that's Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Or this weekend, the thing about 4th of July is it's like, that's where you got to showcase the beach bod. That's where you got to showcase all the hard work in the gym. But you know what's more important than actually working out in the gym? It's fueling your body the right way. VitaCost Sports Certified Marketplace is available now and is built for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want to train hard and understand the benefits of clean nutrition and supplementation. Think about it. If you're prepping for a triathlon like myself, I didn't realize how much it mattered really until I got started, and I realized how different I felt once I started incorporating VitaCost's products into my routine. You could be grinding at the gym or just trying to be a little bit more health conscious. It makes such a difference mentally, physically, spiritually. Once you're actually fed with the proper fuel, you have no idea the heights that you could go physically. VitaCost is your go-to for leveling up your game. Their new sports certified marketplace, they got over 400 performance-based products, performance-enhancing supplements. They're all certified and free of banned substances, so it's safe. You know exactly what you're putting in your body, and these are proven brands. Visit VitaCost.com/sport-certified to make your purchase today, because I got my plant-based protein, I got my amino acids, I got my fish oil, I got my creatine, I got electrolytes, all of that thanks to VitaCost, and I know it's the good stuff because it's on the Sports Certified Marketplace, and you can get 20% off. That's right, 20% off. You use code ESPN20, ESPN20 on VitaCost.com Sports Certified Marketplace for 20% off. That's ESPN20 as your code. Level up your game at Vitacost. DeAndre Ayton is signing a 2-year contract with the Los Angeles Lakers with a player option. Lakers finally get their big. They make their splash to this postseason. He's making about $34 million, so I guess that's a 60-some-odd year deal, a $60-some-odd million deal. Needle moving. That's something we've said a couple times today. No. Objectively the right move? Yeah.
Yeah, they needed a big guy, but he's
not that good.
They needed DeAndre Ayton 3 years ago. This isn't, DeAndre Ayton, I feel like kind of went over to Portland, Colin. It just became completely irrelevant. Is that fair to say? I mean, the Blazers, I understand, Chauncey Billups and company, they like what's going on there, but Ayton didn't fit that mold. At least he could go there and compete. I'll say that. He go there and compete. Maybe he'll prove to me on the court that he's still worth something and that him, Luka, and Bron can figure things out together.
Because he was solid on the Suns. He was a max contract player.
LeBron, they needed a big man on that team. This isn't like something that I'm ready to say they're up there with the Rockets and the Thunder. This isn't a move like that.
Definitely not.
It's a Miles Turner-esque move.
Definitely not. Miles Turner's better than Ayton, but yes.
I compare it more to a Miles Turner move than I do to a huge needle mover.
It's a necessary addition to a team that desperately needed size. And with LeBron getting older, they can't be guard heavy and have LeBron try to, rough and tough with these big guys throughout the NBA. Instead, get somebody to handle that. He's a good defender. And then hopefully with that, a mixture of whether Reeves, LeBron, Luka, whatever it might be, to try to see if they could salvage another season or two with LeBron before he hangs it up. And who knows when that's going to be. I know everybody's hypothesizing on if he's going to ask out. LeBron is not going – I would be blown away if LeBron James asks out. Yeah. He is going to stay put, finish his career in L.A. I assume that is going to be his final destination over the next year, 2 tops. I would be surprised if he went any further than that because he doesn't need it.
It just doesn't seem like LeBron wouldn't just retire out of the blue, too. He's going to do his farewell tour and stuff.
You'll know before the season.
I'm waiting on it, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't – It sounds like Bron's already got 1 foot out the door. I don't know how much longer he wants to keep doing it. And he said on record before, Colin, that he doesn't want to be one of those players that just can't play anymore at the level he wants to. I don't think we're there yet. Bron is still a 25, 7, and 6 kind of player. He really is just defying the logic of Father Time.
But he'll be done when he'll be done.
Still a top 5, 8 player in the league, wherever you want to rank him in that realm. But he'll hang it up before he turns. And listen, this is with all due respect to one of my GOATs. You guys know I love Kobe. He'll hang it up before he turns into Kobe in that final year. He's just chucking shots on.
LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic trying to capitalize. It seems to be a short-term league right now with how free agency is going. Try to win now. Try to make something how. Think of the Knicks. Think of the Bucks. Think of the Lakers now. Try to figure it out this year, next year, because it's takeable. It is open. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, and Christian Catt. We'll be back at it tomorrow, local programming 2 to 6 p.m. I believe no Theo Dorsey. I believe I'm on, theoretically speaking, tomorrow. So looking forward to that. 4 hours tomorrow, so stick around for it. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Wednesday as we send you off saying so long. See you next time right here on ESPN 106.3.